Hello, this is Daria Marjali, and I'm studying the course Business Analyst, Software Testing Processes and Techniques, which is available on Udemy. The professor's name is Jeremy Aschenbrenner. And this chapter, which I'm going to review, is chapter 4, and it talks about defect management. So it's not enough to write the test cases. We have to also do defect management. This means you have to establish a place where you can write these defects and then assign them to a developer and then trace it. And then once it's fixed, get notified and then validate that the change has fixed the bug. To start off, sort of just to understand the concept, you can use Excel as your defect tracking tool. And basically, the idea is to create a sheet called the defect tracking spreadsheet. And you can do that by using your test cases sheet that you had previously and adding 3 columns to the end of that. So the defect tracking spreadsheet would be a more complete sheet, and it would have these columns. I'm going to read them. First, requirement ID. 2, the test case ID. 3, title. For example, that the account can be accessed from the main menu. So the main idea of the test case. And then number 4, the number of the steps. So step 1, then the action and its description. For example, the first step would be, okay, click the drop down, select account management, click here, another step, so forth. The 6th column would be the expected result. And then the 7th one would be, did it pass or it failed? 8th would be some remarks. And then 9 is then particular to the defect tracking spreadsheet, which would be the status. The status, it would be a drop down where you select some values. For example, waiting to be assigned to a developer. So it failed, and now column 9, status, waiting to be assigned, or another option would be assigned already, something like that, or resolved, or whatever. Number 10, column 10 would be assigned to, which would be the name of the developer who we assign it to. Number 11 would be notes relating to the defect. For example, the note that you want the developer to read. So for example, check the code around the click button. So then the course goes on to explaining how you can do this on SharePoint. And the advantage of using SharePoint is that several people can work on the same thing, on the same sheet, and also that you can get notifications. He goes into detail about how to create a defect management list on SharePoint, but I won't repeat those steps here. The next thing, and very important, is the rollout. So you have to make sure that you create a tutorial documentation of the defect management process. So you want to explain to people how they have to use this defect management system that you've set up, whether it's the Excel or the SharePoint or whatever it is. You have to give them details about how they're gonna have to use it, and you include this explanation in your quality plan and your project plan. So when you announce the project and you give them the quality plan and your documentation, you also give them a demo of the defect management process, or you give them some documentation on how to use the defect management tools. Different people will be working on this defect management sheet or list if it's in SharePoint. And so the developer will be working on it, changing fields, values, and the tester, and also the business analyst. Once something has been resolved, the business analyst goes in there and changes the status to resolved. So that was it. That was chapter 4.